Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Demir from TDeverything. A quick reaction to the president's speech. What a wonderful speech, and what a man. I was inspired. I need to be honest. As I was watching the speech, and I'm like, wow, I'm really inspired, and I know this like his like, yeah. But then this is actually his best speech yet. This is his best speech yet, and we know that like before, as much as like I'm sure he has had better speeches or speeches just as good as this one, but I think this speech has left me so optimistic, so inspired, and so just having faith in the government that we have currently. And just maybe I'm foolish for believing in him, but you know what, man? Like I said, I've been wanting this. I want the GNU, the Government of National Unity, to be a success. And I feel like if you don't want this, the Government of National Unity to be success, if you want the Government of National Unity to fail, then I don't think you have the best interest of this country at heart. And this goes to EFF, this goes to MK, this goes to other parties that are not part of GNU. Because one thing that we know, that like GNU is inclusive, and I know people don't want to hear this, but South Africa is a diverse country, and yes, we know that like we have issues of land, we have other issues of systematic racism and other things. But like right now, we need to have an order. We need to have an order. Right now, we need to focus on government of national unity, and also ensure that like it is a success. And I listened to Julius Malema's speech after post the government, post parliament sitting, and I was kind of disappointed, because I'm like, yes, but then dude, as an opposition leader, do you always have to oppose whatever that the president says? And yes, some of the things that were said in those speeches were said before. The creation of jobs, tackling crime, GBV, and the crime rate in the country. Those things have not been tackled, and like, but then right now, I'm actually I'm going to the sleep with having more being with more optimism. If I'm being honest, I'm going to bed with more optimism, and also a bit of faith and belief that like things will get better in South Africa, because things are different now. We don't have ANC exclusively in power. No, things are different now. We have different parties forming GNU, and this will put ANC in such a pressure. Will keep so much will put so much pressure on ANC to make sure that they deliver in their respective portfolios. And also DAPA, IFP, good, what else, Freedom Front Plus, and other parties that are members of GNU. They have the responsibility to make sure that they perform and also deliver, so that like I mean they will have like to have a good track record, and also an example to say like, you know what, this is what we've done during when we were part of the GNU, and you can trust us going to the 2026 elections, local government elections, and also 2029 elections. So I want GNU thing to be a success. I want GNU thing to be a success, because it is the last resort, if we're really being honest, because we know that ANC and ANC and MQ were never going to be in coalition together. ANC and EFF were never going to be in coalition together. So if that's not going to happen, then this is our last resort. The government of national unity, different parties coming together, and also different parties having different portfolios, and having different ministers. So this is the last resort, and I really hope it works. I really hope it works, and actually have faith that it will work. It will work, and I want it to work, because. And also, I'm gonna go maybe have another video maybe tomorrow or after tomorrow, where I'm gonna go into deep details of what the president said during his speech, and that video will probably be longer than this one. But also a couple of things that I wanted to highlight. Um, the president spoke about reducing the standard of living, because let's be honest, things are expensive. Things are really out of order right now. We also mentioned making this country a construction site. I mean, we need to. This country needs to rebuild. This country needs to rebuild. There's so much that needs to be done in this country, and I'm really with him here. This country needs to be a construction site. There's a lot of things that need to be done. The roads need to be fixed. I mean, let me just say the infrastructure, the maintenance of the infrastructure. Another thing that is mentioned, the maintenance of infrastructure, really important. Please, it needs to be done. Start with the with the is it the road in Johannesburg. We remember we had like an explosion in Johannesburg. I don't even know if the road has been fixed yet. So those are the kind of things that those we need. Those have to be issues of the past. Gone are the days like what I'm trying to say is that like we should not have days where like those days where like things take years and years. Infrastructure takes years before it can be fixed or be brought back to life again. I mean, the potholes, the bridges, the dams. There's a lot of things that need to be done. The railways. There's a lot of things that need to be done in South Africa, and I really hope that like the GNU will bring a change in South Africa, because these parties also have a responsibility, and also they need to convince us as people that neither belong to ANC, DA, or don't belong to any other party, but then want to see South Africa working, and also want to give different parties a chance. And because if I see DA being successful in their respective portfolios, I'm gonna vote for DA in the coming election. If I see actually ANC trying to actually get their house in order and make sure that like things get back to normal and South Africa is working again, and I will vote for ANC. If I see Patriotic Alliance doing well, I will vote for Patriotic Alliance. So I just want South Africa to be progressive. I just want South Africa to be a success. So another thing that also stood out for me, I'm not gonna go into details. You mentioned about the Vulindlela initiative, which I'm really looking forward to it. And I mean, we have had so many initiatives, some not working out, but then I really hope that the Vulindlela initiative, it is a success. Creating more jobs, we've had that before, and what's gonna be different this time? Are we gonna, because like before he promised so many jobs, but then we ended up having so many jobs lost, and which is a fact. It is a fact. So many jobs have been lost under Cyril Ramaphosa, and I wish he had not even mentioned that. But then one thing that we need to, this time around, we need agency and action. We need agency and action. Those are the two ways that we need, and those are the two ways that should be in vocabulary of every minister and deputy, and also the whole government. Agency and action. I think that also stood out for me. Focusing on agriculture, as John Steenhuisen, a lot of jobs needs to be created in agriculture, and all we know that agriculture is, if there's one sector that should be creating more jobs, is in agriculture. So John Steenhuisen has so much work on his hand, and I really, if like DA is the party, if DA is the future of South Africa, John Steenhuisen needs to do something. John Steenhuisen needs to perform miracles and make sure that that agriculture in South Africa is actually back to where it used to be, because we know that a lot of people used to be employed in agriculture, because agriculture is such a broad, it's such a big and diverse sector. It's quite big. So John Steenhuisen should do well in that. If like he's the guy that people, the DA is the party that people should vote for, and then John Steenhuisen needs to deliver. They need to make sure that the agricultural sector in South Africa is where the jobs are, and make sure that the agriculture in South Africa is thriving again. And I think that's stood out for me. Again, restoring Durban. I mean, we cannot have Durban dilapidating the way it is. We cannot have Durban going down as at the pace that it is, because like, I mean, Durban used to be Cape Town. Before there were not much difference between Durban and Cape Town, but right now you look at Cape Town is there, and Durban is all the way all the way down, and that's one thing that needs to be changed. We need to make sure that like Durban is that a city that like tourists wish to go and visit. But like right now, is Durban even doing that great when it comes to tourism? I don't think so. I mean, we had like Durban July this month, but I mean, you compare Durban July this year and previous years, I'm sure like people don't even bother going there. And also, even December, you know that Durban beaches you used to be full to capacity in December, but then that's not the case anymore. So the tourism sector is losing so much money because people don't see Durban as the tourism destination. You look at Cape Town. Cape Town is still doing extremely well, extremely well. So I really hope that like Durban could be brought back to life again. And also another very important issue, man, the construction mafias. Something needs to be done about it. Something needs to be done about it. And I'm glad that the president did mention in his speech that like it's one thing that he highlighted it, and I really hope that like that's not gonna be the case anymore, because there's a lot of things, a lot of corruption that's happening uh, in that sector. So a lot. President did mention a lot of things and made so many promises, and man, we can only be optimistic, and we can only be optimistic and hope that like those, at least like 50% of those things that were mentioned gets delivered and things do change for South Africans, because I mean it's literally the bare minimum that we asking from the president. This like the bare minimum. So yeah, a lot of things need to be, a lot of work needs to be done, and God bless all the ministers, all the deputy ministers, everyone that forms the government, because we really want this country to be successful. Because for me, if you're anyone that don't wish to see this new thing working out, then you don't have the best interest of this country at heart. Because at the end of the day, this is the last resort. This is the only thing that we have. We don't have anything else. We do not have anything else. So I really hope and I'm optimistic that it will work, and I want it to work. So for those that don't want to see it work, then bro, like it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, I think that's it for me. So yeah, so please do like and subscribe, and chat to you guys very soon.